Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Vechain, specifically taking a look at the technical analysis on the VET token. Now, as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? You can always unsubscribe later. And of course, if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, I think you're missing a trick. You should check it out. Linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video and start things off with that 1 hour time frame for Vechain. So here we have VET paired up with USDT on the mixed contract using BitGet. Okay, and we can see that we have this kind of big move to the downside, and this comes after a fantastic run that Vechain had after being listed on Coinbase, which a lot of people misunderstand. It's a lot to do more with the custodian elements as to why we're really excited about Vechain being listed on Coinbase, and it is the initial pump and stuff like that. But it did well nonetheless after Vechain got listed there. So we can see here we had this really cool run to the upside. It was 26%. It did fall short of its target range, so it truncated a little bit on the C wave, but other than that, business as usual, really. So from here, we can see that Smart Money Concepts tells us we're now in a bearish structure for Vechain. This is no surprise. Ultimately, we've been expecting a bit deeper in terms of price retracement than we've seen so far for Vechain. So I'll talk a little bit about that in this video, so do sit tight. But ultimately, on this hourly chart, you can see here that we've moved down right into the target range. We should start to see a bit of a lift in the price action of Vechain soon. So if we pull this down, we can see that realistically, our C wave target range is between 1.615 cent and 1.649 cent. So let me show you, let me just remove this and I'll show you what that looks like. It's basically a 3-wave corrective pattern, and we're right inside the target zone right now. Okay, now we are below the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA, and both of these are below the 200 EMA. So essentially what you saw over here, this was on the Saturday the 23rd at 6 a.m. was a death cross. We saw the 50 exponential moving average cross down lower than the 200 exponential moving average, and we also saw the 50 SMA cross down lower than the 200 exponential moving average. Essentially, short-term price action is lower than that of long-term price action, and price is below both of those. It's all bearish essentially here, so it's not looking great. Now, this move to the downside here is quite interesting in itself. It looks like we have a zigzag pattern, and I don't think we're finished yet, so I expect we are going to move down a little bit deeper in price before we can get a rally of any kind going. Now, just because we finished this C-wave structure doesn't necessarily mean we put an end to a bearish pattern. It just means you have a relief rally, and that could be really great. You might rally all the way up into like 2 cent, or alternatively, it might be lackluster and just kind of find upper resistance here around the 200 EMA at about 1.7 cent, right? We don't know how that's going to look until we get into that move, but for now, it looks like a potential long position is something that we might be able to do here on Vechain. But again, we would use proper risk management, nice tight stop losses if we were to do this, and probably a trailing stop would be good as well, but considering we don't know where that's likely to go just yet. So it's options there. I'd expect a bit of a green month maybe in October, but we don't know how strong of that month and those movements are going to be just yet. Let's take this up into the daily time frame, and you can see that I'm still expecting further downside on the chart here. Realistically speaking, we're talking a Z wave to finish between 1.121 cent and 1.548 cent. Now, technically, we could have bottomed. I just don't think that's the case. I expect us to actually test a 1.3, a new double bottom scenario or deeper. I don't think we're done with the bear market just yet for Vechain. I think we've still got further to the downside to go. And of course, we do have this rather unfortunate potential scenario down here at 0.00799 to 0.00970. So essentially, we lose the 1 cent level, and we have this little area. This is a previous area of resistance turn support. So I think if we have to go down deeper than 1.1 cent, then this is the area that we're likely to find support on it. Okay, and that's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but if I zoom out of this, you can kind of see how we've been hit down, and we've had a little bit of a break above this trend line, but for the most part, it's still being quite hefty resistance, unable to get past that 200 EMA EMA that you see up here as well, currently at 1.917 cent. So again, everything's looking quite bearish here on the daily time frame. We still have further down on momentum indicator, the stochastics indicating further downside, so that's not giving us much hope. We can see here that outside of the Coinbase listing, volumes are really poor, so again not helping. RSI is at a mid-level, so that's not helping either way, and there's no hidden or bullish bearish divergences being indicated on the divergence indicator. So again, nothing hidden here. The last hidden one was on the 14th of August. It's been quite poor at this point in time from that indicator's perspective, and so ultimately I expect just a bit more to the downside on the daily time frame. Nothing here is saying that we're in a bullish market yet for Vechain. Low volumes, not enough demand, a lot of supply, essentially bearish, right? And so let's take it to the weekly chart. We can see here that we do have this idea that we're still going to be pushing down. We might see this little lift up a little bit more, possibly towards that 2 cent range, right? It's not impossible to happen. But again, on the weekly time frame, what do we see? Well, we're below the 200 EMA, which we're below the 50 EMA, we're below the 50 SMA, and the 50 SMA and the 50 EMA are below that of the 200 EMA. So essentially on the weekly chart, short-term price action is lower than long-term price action, and our structures are still very much bearish from an Elliott-Wave theory point of view. It does not appear that we have finished this pattern yet to the downside, and therefore we still should be expecting a bit of a pull down. Now, that doesn't necessarily say that we're not likely to see things like $1 in the future, because I do think $1 is possible for Vechain at some point in its near future. Now, that could be 5 years down the line, it could be 10 years down the line. I'm not sure, I can't time the market, but what we can do here is say that if we follow the structures in front of us from an Elliott-Wave theory point of view, we'd have not necessarily an ABC structure, because I just like using ABC for the ease of communication. It's more of a WXY kind of pattern, and we can see that we have the potential uplift here towards $1.43. Now, that could take multiple years to play out. It's definitely not going to be something that will be quick, and there's upper areas of resistance to be expected as well, specifically around 19.8 cent and 49 cent. These are areas of the previous all-time high, for example, and this W wave, and obviously the 786 key Fibonacci levels as well. So for the most part, we definitely have the possibility of a great lift upwards, and there's lots of good fundamental reasons as to why you might see the supply shrink and demand grow, right? The two things that you need to see in order to have a bullish environment, right? You need supply to basically be outpaced by demand, and at the moment we don't see this, but I do think that is something that is likely to occur, and we are likely to see a really good, a fantastic run on Vechain. So the lower that this goes, the more percentage gains I think we'll end up with. And this prediction is based on a drop to the downside lower than 1 cent. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this actually plays out, and whether or not we're going to be able to kind of achieve these fantastic kind of percentage gains later down the line. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you think Vechain has the ability to hit $1 in the future? Really interested to get your thoughts and opinions on that one. As I wrap this video up, if you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.